Welcome back to Collecting. I'm Linda. Today I want to show you some of the things that I picked up in the past couple weeks. I went to 2 estate sales. I went to this big flea market that my favorite vintage store was having in the Chicago area. So I think I realized this weekend I do have a problem. I've been buying way too much stuff, so I have to stop. Some of it I'm going to list in my Etsy store, and then a lot of it I acquire for my young adult kids. So I have to stop doing that. It's hard for me to pass up things that I find aesthetically pleasing, that I know will work in my home, or I think my kids might get use out of it. But some of the things just end up in my Etsy store, so I'll let someone else have a turn at it. So I'm going to show you some of the things I've picked up recently. So this is a little brown jug, and it's musical. And there's a little, I don't know if he's supposed to be tipsy. He's holding on, a little man that's holding onto a street light. So I'll have to look into this a bit more, but I know that there's a football game that's called the Little Brown Jug. And I grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and there was a restaurant that students loved going to called the Little Brown Jug. So that's one of the things. Then I went to a beautiful estate sale this weekend. A woman who worked in a museum, and she must have been in her 90s, just brimming with amazing finds, like art books. And we're pretty much at capacity for books, so I can't get any more. I may have gotten a few, but I got these. So these are silver plated, you can see those, silver plated tea caddies. Yeah. I went on Sunday, so I was able to get everything half off there. And then the woman was just like throwing in things. Okay. See this one. Okay, I guess you use the handle to open it. I don't know what that little gizmo thing is, but so it just opens like that. So she wasn't selling them as a pair, but they're like half circles. So to me, I had to get them. I don't know. It seemed like they belonged together, but why would you need 2 tea caddies? I don't know. I mean, it would be cool for other things too. So if you have any suggestions for those. Then I got this super fancy knife from the same estate sale, and it comes in this amazing presentation box, and it has carving on it. I'll try to take a close-up picture of that. But it's very pretty. I've never seen a knife like that. I need to get out my magnifying glass and see what it's marked. And I'll put it on the screen. But look at this fancy box. The indentation of it in the velvet, and then the satin pillow for it. Huh. This is one of those things where you can tell it was so special that the person never wanted to use it. There we go. When I started going to estate sales, I can't tell you how many times I would go into these sales where there were things that the homeowner must have considered so special, so precious, that they never used them. And so for many estate sales, the person has died. Some of them they've moved to maybe an assisted living facility, but they never saw an opportunity or an event that was worthy enough to, use the fancy knife, or to use their linen napkins or tablecloth or cake platter. So I find things that are brand new, that may have been, stored in pristine condition since the 1920s, 1930s, 40s. But I had a problem with cake stands for a while. Even if you are using a cake stand, maybe you're using it, 3 or 4 times a year for a birthday. But for like silverware and linen napkins, maybe some people also just see that as too much of a hassle. Your napkins and your tablecloth might involve laundering and then ironing. Your silver involves polishing. And so it's just best to keep it in the linen closet, keep it in the wood silverware chest, and it stays there for your entire life. And so what I would like to do is get the most use out of these things. For many of those things, they were crafted by artisans, and it just seems a shame that they never get used, they don't get appreciated. So I want to make it a point to use those beautiful things. This is another find. So this cost $4. Somebody made this by hand, and it's Cigar Bands. And they put felt on this side, so they decoupaged them onto this clear glass bowl, and then they put this green felt on the other side. But so that was just $4. I love that. This I got, it's a tote bag, and it's a Lulu Guinness tote bag. I'm guessing it's from the 1980s, but I don't know. I should look it up actually. It has the original price tag on it, $250. And I got it, I believe, for $6. And the only problem is, even though it does have the tag on it, they must have added the original tag, because inside there's like some sort of a makeup debacle occurred in there, and it's going to involve like cleaning it out, but it'll be okay. But it's got the Lulu Guinness label in it from London, and she's as cute as a button. I loved this. And it goes with this purchase that I got, and this came from Goodwill, and this is also Lulu Guinness. So this is just like a little compact. You might keep your lipstick in there with a mirror, maybe a compact of face powder. But aren't those great together? Lulu Guinness represented in the house. I picked up this teapot at the estate sale. So this was $7, and it's ironstone by a company called Masons in London. This will go in my Etsy store. Now this is a mystery to me. This was, I think, $7. So it's tin, and it looks like it's a W on there, and maybe it's an M and a W. I'm not really sure. Let me know if you have any idea. I don't know if this was the top of a Weathervane. No idea. But it's on a little wooden base. It seems like it has a bit of age to it, so I really don't know what it is. Okay, there's a cat butt in the way. Can you move, kitty? Duchess has joined us. So if you have any idea what this might be, please let me know. I thought maybe it was something from William and Mary College because of the W and an M. I got these super groovy mugs at an estate sale. They're not marked, but I just thought the colors were really cool. They're very 1970s, and I have to admit that having been around, a little peep in the 70s, the 70s aesthetic took a long time for me to start appreciating it. Kudos to younger generations, because they certainly were picking up 1970s stuff, and I was just scratching my head. So now I'm coming around, and I just thought that those were really cool. Some swingers having coffee after their party. These I found at the flea market for my favorite resale shop. They are airplane propellers, toy model airplane propellers. And there are small ones, big ones. I just think aesthetically they're really cool. They're sculptural. And I have collected these in the past. I think where I developed this sort of love of these propellers from one of my favorite movies, and that's Blow Up. The main character in Blow Up stops at an antique store in London, and he's like a cool photographer, a fashion photographer. He stops at this antique store and he gets this giant, you know, like a regular airplane size propeller, wooden propeller. And it's, you know, sculptural for him. So since I can't get a giant propeller, I get these little propellers, and it makes me think of Michelangelo Antonionios. I can never say his name. Michelangelo Antonionios. Nope, can't say it. And it's just one of my favorite movies, Blow Up. So much for watching my show and tell.